So I just want to highlight the fact that Rick very much just risked it all, quite literally risking his life for a chance at some booty. When our girl whispers in his ear, I just knew it was going to be something like, I'll give you a kiss, I'll take you somewhere if you win. And the fact that she so boldly admits that, yeah, I told him that when he wins, or if he wins, to take me with him on the Hot Springs adventure. And my man went from almost balding like he was Saitama from One Punch Man to saying, you know what, boss? I'll risk it all for a chance to go see those pearly gates if it means I get a chance with the booty. It's just like me for real. I have those full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full and good thought to any of these Ossan Newbie adventure episodes, you know it's over there exclusively. So, next episode, final one for the season, gonna go out with a bang, seemingly gonna get some backstory, how everything formed with the group. And honestly, I'm expecting one big final attack. I think that's the direction we're going to go. We're going to come into episode 12, big backstory for like the first half. Going to properly power up. Rick will give literally everything he can. Our boy's going to give as much as he can in terms of at least, if Rick ends up matching his absolute potential, then they'll completely go all out. I'm still thinking our boy is going to pretty much do what he's done up to this point, which is he'll match whatever the person they're fighting is. I personally hope Rick loses. I think in a perfect world, what ends up happening, Rick does a final fantastic punch, does end up losing. Hopefully doesn't die, because even if you can get brought back, dying is not pleasant. And he still gets to go on the little trip. And then we get blessed with the OVA special where these two get to go on their fun time adventures. I do think most likely Rick will find a way to win. And the only way I still think he wins is if his master is dumbing himself down and is matching Rick at Rick's level. Because even though in episode 3 or 4 when we got the flashback, Rick does have a signature ability that he can't activate on will, but if he could and he could master that, then yes, he absolutely can surpass the others. But Rick isn't currently stronger than any of the other 4. I don't think that should be a controversial take given what we've seen up to this point. But he is mad talented. I just personally think so many shows are afraid to let their MC lose. And I think, given what this whole tournament arc has done, you would have asked me, even by episode 6 or 7, if I thought this would have one of the best produced action scenes of the season. I would say no. If I would have said this became one of the top 5 of the season, I would have said no. But the tournament arc specifically has really elevated this show. And between characters like Angelica, to the way they subvert expectations with, characters that you think are just going to be one-dimensional, I'm trying to marry into a family, turn out to be way more interesting than that. If they can commit to Rick actually losing and saying, yes, Rick someday is going to surpass him, but it ain't today. I think it's going to be a similar feeling to how the fact that Angelica got to lose, but she was told in a year's time you could have surpassed that person. I think it would just be very bold to allow him to lose. Give him a freebie, give him the go have fun with your girl date adventure, but I think you can still have the MC feel impressive, but lose it. Look at Kelvin. My boy literally lost his fight, and everyone's going to be talking about him the most because he had the most energy to it. And I think Rick could have a similar thing. But if they do commit to Rick winning, I just hope they write it well. I hope there's a justifiable reason. I don't think the show has given me reason to doubt, but I've seen enough shonen BS in my time to understand why I should be very cautious if Rick does pull a W against the walking Terminator known as this orb. But we did get a taste of the action, and Rick does start off strong right away, and he does do damage. The biggest thing is it could be a situation where maybe orcs don't show fatigue the same way humans do, because with every move Rick does in this fight, or he defends or he attacks, Rick is visibly getting winded. Like, he's panting, he's huffing, he's puffing, but our boy's just standing there. Does he have his abs cut? Yes. Is he getting pushed into the ground? Yes. But there's no element of fatigue. Now, one of two things. That highlights the fact that he is just still out of Rick's level, or he doesn't show fatigue the same way a human does. There's two different ways they're going to go about it, and I do trust that episode 12 is going to go out on a way that will make me overall enjoy it. I'm just honestly rooting for our MCs not death, but demise in this fight, because I think it would be, it leads to a season 2 feeling like he's still so impressive, but there's still so much farther left to go in that kind of way, you know what I mean? But, you know, they start the episode off literally with Rick just trying to be like, hey, boss, you beat him. It's over. We got the belt. We don't got to worry about anything. He's like, can't wait to fight you. In that moment, Rick saw his grandma at the pearly gates, and he thought to himself, oh God, Nana's gonna see me sooner than I intended. I thought they were gonna commit to a gag that he was gonna completely lose his hair, because he was shedding like a maniac, like a cat just got scared out of its mind. I thought he was gonna walk into that fight with only a little bit of hair on the side of his head. I was just waiting for the Saitama look, that's all I'm saying. The comedic directing and him just like saying, I ain't doing this. The leader of the whole event realizing how much money's at stake if he doesn't participate, and honestly, understandable justification for like why he's so freaked out about it. But I can't say I blame Rick for being like, I don't want to do it. And even though he was approaching the gate, like ready to do it, because after everyone talking about how like this means something to him, he wants to fight someone that he's trained and can reach his level, you know, there is that emotion holding him there. But he was still nervous. He was still shaking up to that point, and it wasn't until she walked over and said, take me to the spa with you if you win, that he was like, I'm gonna go beat that fool senseless. Because otherwise, we would have ended up with a very similar situation that Kelvin went through in the last episode, where it wasn't until like the last third of the fight where he properly popped off to his full potential. Because, you know, for Kelvin it was a bit different, but we would have had a similar situation with Rick just being terrified to go all out, but because of that words of encouragement, which anyone would do anything for some good booty, let's be honest, he then actually starts going all out. He still hasn't done his signature move that we saw in the flashback, and I imagine that is going to pop out before this fight's over, but still, fantastic stuff. This show is impressive. It has blown me away visually, especially with this arc. It's got that old school feel, but with a modern twist. Just something different. If they announce a season 2 at the end of this, I will be immediately jumping aboard, but if not, I will be keeping my eye out on the news, because this is one of the few shows this season that truly took something I thought I knew exactly what I was getting and decided to do it completely different in so many new ways that, honestly, this show came out a decade ago. I feel like could have been a trendsetter for a lot of different styles of overpowered characters, so to speak. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Ryan49, Joshua Ameger, Kanoda, Torvak, and we also have Joseph Shirley. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. And just make sure if you're going to risk it all for some booty, it's the right booty, because you never know what you're going to sign up for. Have a good one.